Yeah, I really have. You know, I'll tell you what, it is tough to lose those guys. I don't want to say easy coaching, but it was, you know, a lot of things were kind of handled. Now it's a totally different deal, especially with the twos, where you have to really, but it's actually more fun. You know, you have to, okay, this is four down, this is a two, you know, and you have to really go back to the basics. But we still do have enough older guys. I know you talked to Royce for some reason. Must be a slow day in sports today, but we've got Royce there. We've got Alex. We've got Ben. You know, Bryce Matthews has been around. Eli's been around. So we've got some guys that have been around, and it's not like it's their first year, but it is a big challenge, but it's a lot of fun, and it's kind of a race against time to get these guys ready to play.
How many of your guys are playing multiple positions?
You know what? I try to get all of them too. You know, Alex could play guard and tackle. Eli, you know, is basically a center, but he could play guard. You know, Ben could play guard and center. I mean, basically, if you're a guard, usually, if you're a shorter guard, you can play guard and center. If you're a taller guard, you can play tackle or guard. And then, you know, like Greg Little last year, of course, just played tackle because he settled into that. But and then some of the younger guys, you try to just get them going at one position and then eventually move them to another. So, you know, like Royce, for instance, is a perfect example. He could play guard or tackle. Bryce Matthews right now has played all five positions. He played guard, center, and tackle, which is a little bit unusual. But that gives us the flexibility to try to figure out the five best guys on the field.
How much of that flexibility comes from not having the 7 guys in yet that you're going to get in the fall versus how much is it just teaching these guys to play?
Yeah, well, you know, it's probably the fact that those 7 guys aren't here. Obviously, now you really got to have guys fill in, especially if you get injuries or, you know, like Chandler to that class, you know, things like that. You gotta adjust, you know, and you can't. You know, the same thing with left and right side. Someone can't say, well, I only play on the left side. Well, guess what? If that guy gets hurt and you're a backup, you're going on the right side. So, you know, obviously it'll settle down a little bit once you get those other 7 guys in. Mainly because those guys will probably start out with one position, especially just getting here. We'll try to get them ready to go at one, and then as they start getting comfortable with that, we'll move them in. You know, Hamilton Hall was a perfect example. He had a guard for a long time, needed him a tackle, so we moved him out there. So it'll be fun to get those guys in. We had 5 of them visit, and it was fun to see them, and I'm anxious to start working with all of them.
Are you guys expecting that someone in that group will need to emerge and then play a little bit?
Yeah, you know what? It's, you know, it just remains to be seen. It would be great if they did, I can tell you that, you know, and we're going to try to prepare all of them like, and I've told them since day one, I want you to prepare like you're coming into play. The old days when I was playing, you didn't get there until August 1st, and 3 weeks later you were playing, and it was very difficult to learn it fast enough. Now they come in May 28th or whatever, and we can actually work with them throughout the summer. Limited, but you can still work with them. They can still learn what you're doing. And they can also work out with our players. So it's a lot different now. And so I've told each and every one of them, hey, you come in here and compete like you're going to play. And the nice thing is now with the redshirt year, you have 4 games to see where they're at. It's not like you have to make that redshirt decision. So hopefully if we're ahead or whatever happens early in the year, we can get them in and see where we're at. So I would definitely anticipate at least 2 or 3 of them being involved in depth for next year.
We're seeing in the time we're out there, Mike Howard a lot at left tackle. What's his spring been like?
You know, he's doing great. He just needs to gain weight. That's the biggest thing with Mike. He's tough. He plays with an edge. He knows what it takes to play at this level, and we just got to see him gain some weight, and that'll be something that can really help him. And he just struggles with it. I don't know, you know, it's just something that he really, no matter how like he was up to 270, but then he started practicing and he loses it again. So that'll be a big emphasis for him to because he's got everything else. He plays hard. He's tough. He's a great kid. He knows what he's doing. He just needs to get bigger.
Matt talked a little bit about Mike standing out in the scrimmage on Saturday. What was he doing right that even despite?
Well, I think the biggest thing is he just has been through the war, so to speak. He's knows what it takes. I think this offense is helping him a little bit with a little bit more outside zone. Maybe not as quite as much straight drop back pass. You know, some more sprint out stuff, some more things that is suited to his skill set. So that's the biggest thing. I just think that, you know, with a very young team, you got to rely on guys like Ben and Alex and you know, Mike Howard. Let's face it, he's been through it. He's been out there. So any of those guys know what it takes to win, and that's what we're trying to teach everybody else.